Great. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom Comboy. I'm a program manager here on the Newlab team. Excited to see so many familiar faces in the audience. I am so excited to introduce this next team in the mobility sector to present for you all. It's Electric, who has really positioned themselves as a mover and a shaker in the EV charging hardware landscape in the past few years. It's Electric is an EV charging company that partners with property owners to unlock access to untapped electricity supply while they earn passive income, revolutionizing EV charger proliferation and adoption in urbanized areas. The company joined Newlab in 2022, just as Newlab began to explore curbside charging innovation with strategic government partners here in New York. In just a few short years, the company has expanded to multiple pilot programs, including pilots around Newlab's home bases. So in Detroit, at the Detroit Smart Parking Lab, and here in Newlab at the Brooklyn Navy Yard, we have something in the works right in the courtyard, which you'll see later today. So, It's Electric is poised for explosive growth as a solution well-positioned to tackle the thorny challenge of flexibly charging electric vehicles in urban environments. With that, I'll stop there and let It's Electric tell you themselves what they've been up to lately. So please, let's give a great round of applause for Tiya Gordon, co-founder and COO at It's Electric.
Hey, it's great to be here. Hi, everyone. My name is Tiya Gordon, and I am the co-founder of It's Electric. We solve the largest barriers that cities face in the deployment of public charging. Right now in this country, there's about 100,000 public level 2 chargers, and the country wants to go to 1 million, and that's in 6 years' time. Right here in this city, thanks to the ambition and the clarity of our leadership in the Department of Transportation, there's a target of 10,000 level 2 chargers, also in that same time frame. And because I like to be topical, let's all agree those chargers are not going to be Tesla. But it's okay, because they never were. In the world of EV charging, there's 3 big buckets. There's home charging, which is really the best way to charge your EV. It's how 85% of drivers will charge their vehicles when they have that garage, when they're lucky enough to have that garage. The second bucket is fast charging. We've got the NEVI funding, building out a network in this country along the highway every 50 miles, and that's on top of the existing supercharger network. But then there's this final frontier, and that's urban charging, and that's where we come in. What we do at It's Electric is we allow a charger to be deployed anywhere where there's a building and a curb. And we do this in 2 days at 1/10 the cost of the incumbent. We do this by avoiding what we consider to be the largest barrier that cities face in the deployment of public charging, and that's any requirement or reliance on the utility, because we merely power our chargers from the spare capacity in adjacent buildings by running a small conduit just below the sidewalk, as opposed to connecting to the main utility line in the street, which involves transformers and submeters and inter-utility connections and permits, or trying to get the utility to upgrade circuit capacity in existing street furniture. The beauty of It's Electric is that urban density that we all see as we look everywhere as we go in any city, that becomes the barrier for everyone else, for us is the solution. Because when we look at a city, every building is a charger. And why would a building let us do this? Because we rev share. We're providing thousands of dollars a year to that building, offsetting their annual utility cost. We ended 2023 being named the next big thing in tech by Fast Company, and we started 2024 being named top innovator by the World Economic Forum. So this has caught the attention of a lot of groups with our solution. We are the country's only UL-certified detachable cable solution, and we're also behind the meter, and this is very much in demand. Detachable cable, you say, and we say in response, not weird, just European. And it's really important because cables are problematic for 3 reasons, all the attached cable solutions. First is that they break. The attached cable on a public charger is always the first component to break. People charge, they mic drop, that cable hits the ground, it hits the pavement. it breaks, it's down for sometimes weeks, sometimes months, sometimes forever, until that actual unit is entirely replaced. The second advantage of a detachable cable solution is interoperability. So we give drivers the cable that they need. Tesla drivers all get their NACS cable, Audi, BMW, Hyundai get their CCS until everyone ultimately gets their NACS cable in a few years. And then the third reason is that we've removed the big, the bad, the ugly. We are designed to be placed on the residential streets where people are already parking their cars overnight. We want to be as ubiquitous as a fire hydrant, and we want to blend right in. So we just want to be that small bollard that sits there, and the only time you see the cable is when the car is actually attached and charging. I always get asked this question, so I'll say that the cable blocks on both ends when it's charging, so there can't be vandalism or opportunistic vandalism. All in all, in the last 6 months, in addition to having been awarded a $1.5 million federal grant from the Joint Office of Energy and Transportation to deploy in 4 cities and to create what we're calling a national curbside charging toolkit for the country, we've also been awarded 3 additional cities through competitive RFPs and grants. And all of this started through our very first pilot, exactly 1 year ago, here in Brooklyn for our MVP, or our minimum viable product. That pilot, now known as Pilot Zero, was the very first for New York City's Climate Innovation Pilot Program, which allows for climate tech companies to use city assets to scale their tech. And now we're moving from MVP to MRP. You can walk outside and see our market-ready chargers. They're sitting there, obviously not plugged in, but they are ready to go. We're really excited about this. And we right-sized our first order. So we designed these are our chargers, but we manufacture them domestically here in the United States. And we made that first order 75 chargers. 2 of these are going to be baptized in the concrete of Newlab right outside the doors. The other one is in Detroit, and it's already up and running 24/7, 365, free for open charging for dozens of drivers across vehicle makes, across models, across external conditions, for us to measure and refine performance. And this is happening truly in the lab of Newlab. It's not a wet lab, it's not a dry lab, it is a real-world lab, and it's right outside our door. This is a critical tool. We will be testing these chargers vigorously for 1 year across 2 cities and constantly monitoring, again, in a real-world lab. This is to make sure that we are fully and completely ready when we roll these chargers out into the wider world very shortly. Just to kind of show you how fast we're moving, you'll see what the quality of the product is outside, but then I'm going to go to a video now that shows you what we did exactly 1 year ago. So easy peasy. We anticipate the use of these 3 chargers in our 2 Newlab locations is going to transfer about 1,900 kilowatt hours per month to our drivers. It's going to provide charging to up to 30 drivers, and it's really going to allow us to finalize and polish and primp and do everything we need to do before our next order of a couple of hundred chargers goes in and is then sent to 7 cities across the United States in 2024. My ask of this audience is that as we are cars powered by buildings, if you know any people who own a building or an apartment or a house in several cities, that's Boston, DC, Detroit, LA, Alexandria, Jersey City, come find me, come email me at hello@itselectric.us. We're looking for our property partners to be able to start to deploy in our first 7 cities, and we'd love to have them sign up. If you're here today, come find me or my colleagues Nathan and Shannon, who are wandering around Newlab Brooklyn. If you are watching this live streamed, come see our colleague in Detroit, Dante. And we're so glad to be here, and we are just so grateful to be part of this Newlab community. It truly has made us move further faster. And Shayna, I'm not sure if I coined that or if you did, but it works. So thanks so much, everyone.